Hey, Unaware here. I have failed again. Day one, again. Uh, I smoked some weed again, and this time I also divulged in some Oreos and some French fries and just stuff that just not really healthy and nothing like that. Obviously it'd be a different thing if I handmade the Oreos and made it with natural cacao, chocolate, and natural, organic, healthy items. But no, that was not the case. And I gave up, and it's terrible because how do I expect to run companies if I can't even do this simple fucking task? How do I expect to run my websites, and companies, beginning with this company that's coming out very, very shortly now, How do I expect to run this if I can't even do a simple task such as eating right, not smoking, not drinking, and working out twice a day, and the water and the selfie, for 75 days straight. If I can't do that, then how the fuck do I expect to run a company for more or less 75 days? More or less more than that for years. So yeah, and it was crazy too, because while I was smoking and while I was spending money to try to eat French fries because I knew I was not going to be able to do this for long, it didn't satisfy me at all, and I still felt just not good about it. Now my stomach doesn't feel good about it from eating all those Oreos and fries and all that stuff, and I don't know, I know that failure is part of the process, though, and I have definitely failed, but I feel that's the only way to really succeed sometimes, and it's just crazy because I expect to do all this stuff to get companies, multiple ones, and raise a child, and just do everything, try to be a really good boss and everything like that. How can I expect to be a boss of any kind if I can't do this at all? And I know I've said it already twice, maybe 3 times now, or I think this might be the 4th time. I'm not sure. I think this is the 3rd time. But this time I'm very serious, actually. It's going to happen no matter what. And yeah, because I believe that this, along with my company being released in May, along with my child being born around October, November, all 3 of these things, which, like I said, the company and 75 Hard will happen before the child's born, Now, 75 Hard will end around mid-July, which is still fine because that's still before the baby is born, which is all I want. All I want is to complete it before that. But yeah, everything will be done. Hopefully I can get my second project done before the baby's born as well. I had mentioned a briefing of the 3rd project I wanted to do with the mining thing on the phones, and that one's different because that one's not really a company. I could make a customer support service, but that would be about it. It'd be really a free and open source software that anybody can use free of charge, and I would only accept donations for that one. But however, there's a second one I want to do before that one, and that one will be a company as well. I'm not going to get into it until close to launch day for the second one, which hopefully should be around, I believe I can do it by the end of this year, the second one as well, which will also be incorporated into the first website too, so and also be used for my local businesses that I want to have in 3rd world countries, which I plan on traveling to all of South America except for Venezuela. And the parts of Southeast Asia that aren't all communist and fucking crazy like China or Vietnam or, you know, all those places, and try to set up local shops over there, you know, and that second application will help me with that. And I believe it's something that a lot of people need, you know, and they don't have it, you know, and crypto's been around for like almost a decade. Monero hasn't though, and you know, it's not a thing. So yeah, I think that will also help a lot, and it'll be privacy focused, privacy driven, which anything of this kind of thing that I want to build that already exists in the financial system today is not private or anything, and I believe that would be a good thing. So yeah, but other than that, you know, the first company is going to be out soon, and I just keep thinking to myself, you know, if I keep fucking up these days and I keep being lazy and all this stuff, what the fuck's going to happen with this company when I decide to be lazy, when I'm like the only worker right now and people want to sell something, people have a dispute, and I just turn around and I'm like, oh, I don't feel like doing that today. I can't do that. You know, just like with 75 hard, oh, I feel lazy today, I'm not going to run. And then I lose the day, you know, I lose. And the same thing would happen with Monero Market. So I'm not going to go through that again, you know. And I'm starting again today for the last time, because everything's coming to a close, you know. You know, May's almost here. It's literally like 2 to 3 days away. And, you know, there's no stopping time, unfortunately. That'd be very cool if I could, but, you know, it's just not a real thing. And, you know, and you know, I'm getting old, you know, and I just want everything done. I just want to have the mindset of a man, you know, and when I think of somebody as a man, I think of somebody that went through a lot of stuff, you know, like people who have served in our country, actually served in our country to make a difference, like military men are men. I believe people who construct the roofs and everything, do all that hard work, that's a manly fucking job. I think being a business owner, a good business owner that treats your employees and customers with respect is also a man. And well, that's what I want to do. I don't want to be a boy anymore. You know, I'm almost 24, and I don't consider myself a man, you know. I feel embarrassed about myself, actually. Every time I look in the mirror, and every time I look at my bank, you know, I feel like such an idiot too, because I could have literally had 100 Monero, and I don't. You know, I discovered it around late January. You know, it started with Bitcoin, like most people have, and you see the profits, and then I start researching it, and, you know, I just heard about things from the news and stuff like this and that, and this was around the period of time where I started learning that the news is very deceitful, but I was still a little naive at that point in time. Monero kind of flipped the switch and changed it all, along with the inclusion of Bitcoin, and when I first heard about it, you know, everybody was saying that was anonymous, it was truly decentralized, all this yada 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 stuff. And then you start realizing that Bitcoin's not anonymous. Bitcoin's not even decentralized, you know, because those ASIC mining machines control everything. And you know, that's not real decentralization. Which if you actually read the white paper that Satoshi Nakamoto, the person or group of people behind it, wanted Bitcoin to be, it was not ASIC mining stuff. He literally said 1 CPU equals 1 CPU. That means anybody can mine, you know, and there's no unfair advantage unless if you just own a whole bunch of computers, you know. But everybody can mine on any sort of computer was the goal about it. And it's funny because Bitcoin's they don't want to change anything because they say that, you know, we want to stick to what Satoshi envisioned, so they didn't want to change that 1 mega block size that Bitcoin Cash changed. because, you know, they said in the white paper it was 1 megabyte, yada yada yada, which I'm pretty sure that he said 1 megabyte because Bitcoin wasn't a thing, and it'd be stupid to make the size like, you know, half a gigabyte if nobody's using it. So I'm pretty sure he just threw out that number because, you know, it was the very beginning, and they don't want to change that. But when it comes to the 1 CPU equals 1 CPU thing, they're like, no, we can't go back to that one because we're making a fuck ton of money with these mining machines. You know, and that's the problem with the mining machines, is that, you know, those computers are supposed to count as votes, but when you have these ASIC mining machines controlling everything, you know, regular people can't vote, you know, compared to something that's ASIC resistant like Monero, or at the very least Ethereum does a better job than Bitcoin, you know, where people can vote because these are the people that can pick up a computer and vote, and, you know, things like that, which is how it's supposed to be, by the way. And, you know, because if Bitcoin did what it said it was going to do, you know, with that whole decentralization aspect, I would actually hold some. You know, when I hold it, it's just to hold it temporarily until I convert it to Monero or something like that. And, you know, when the company ends up making me, you know, being well decent off, where I'm not broke and I don't have to worry about bills and all that stuff, and, you know, I have money to actually be able to save some stuff, I might just keep like $1,000 worth in Bitcoin, you know, a penny's worth of Bitcoin or something like that, just so that way I have liquidity just in case if somebody only accepts Bitcoin and I need to send it right then and there. Same with Litecoin and Ethereum. But, you know, I just think, you know, I try not to sound like a Monero maximalist, but I just think Monero is just the best option, you know, like hands down. You know, if you try to compare any of the cryptocurrencies, you know, Monero just does everything right. Ethereum's a little oddball because Ethereum, it kind of works like a cryptocurrency, although that's not what they're really going for, so it's a bit different. But even in that aspect, I think Monero just dominates everything. You know, the transaction fees are the lowest compared to any other cryptocurrency that I know, and it provides privacy. You would think that if it provided privacy, it'd be like Bitcoin, where like, okay, you know, where Litecoin would be like Bitcoin, where it's like, oh, the transaction fees are less than a penny, but, you know, it's all public information. And you would think something like Monero would be like, oh yeah, it's like a 25-cent fee to a $1 something fee, but it preserves your privacy. But it's like the opposite. Monero preserves your privacy, truly decentralized, incentivizes miners with that tail emission, and it's the cheapest cryptocurrency to send. And you can send it without anybody else knowing that you sent it, what amount you sent, or how much you have in your account. I mean, you know, if you were really trying to think what cryptocurrency would be number one and dominate them all, I mean, it's a no-brainer, you know. So unless something comes out, you know, that beats Monero, and I think the only thing that would really beat it is if they change from a proof of work system, because that's just very using of energy and stuff like that. It uses a lot of energy, you know, and they went to a new way that was able to still be decentralized and achieve consensus without centralization, which I don't think would be in the far future. You know, that'd be the only thing that beat Monero, I think. And even then, you know, if Monero were to change their code and agree upon it and implement that and change from proof of work to that thing, you know, Monero could still be number one. And that's just my food for thought. You know, and going back to what I was saying, you know, so I discovered Monero in late January, you know, so after like a week or two, because you could ask my family members and friends and everything, I was going obsessed over Bitcoin, because I thought Bitcoin did what it was supposed to do. You know, I thought Bitcoin was really decentralized, and there was no stopping it. You know, and at that moment in time, I thought it was private, or at least I just didn't think it was just so invasive of privacy. You know, I thought it would just offer some very basic privacy, which it does not, and unless if you change addresses. But I mean, even if you change addresses, you know, there's still ways to to still be able to track you, because the coins will all come from different addresses. In order to send it, you have to merge all the coins together if you receive different addresses, and they can still link you together. The only way would be to use completely separate wallets for each and every single transaction, and I mean, that it just becomes so unnecessary. And even then, there's still a chance that they could trace it all, you know, if you're not smart enough with it. And you know, I don't know, it's just too complicated, it's just too much, you know, and it's just something that doesn't need to be there. Although I think that maybe it was implemented like that because Bitcoin was the first one, and you know, you needed some sort of transparency to have people trust the system, you know, because if you just say this and that, nobody can track it, then the early adopters, how do you know that you're not printing anything new? How do you know that it's working and this and that? So I feel like Bitcoin was maybe made like that to serve as a prototype, to show the world that it's possible, you know, to build up blockchain technology, and then to come out with Monero, which some people speculate that is Satoshi Nakamoto, because the creator of Bitcoin and the creator of Monero, at least the white papers, are both anonymous, you know, and some of the people that worked in Monero, you know, the early contributors, most of them remain anonymous. There's only like, I think one, two or three developers from the early scene. I know Ricardo, whatever his name is, Fluffy Pony, we know him, but there's a lot of other people that didn't mention their names and stuff like that, remain anonymous. You know, and it was around that time period where I learned that Monero was actually the one that did that shit, because I was looking into other cryptos too, you know, because I was like already like, okay, so I know Bitcoin, yeah, for sure, but maybe there's some other things that I could invest in early on to reap the benefits of Bitcoin and then convert it to Bitcoin or something like that. And actually, I lied. I take that back. I actually didn't think like that in that terms of sense until May 1st. So around February, late January, early February is when I discovered Monero. And then I came up with the idea to, you know, to be able to use the cryptocurrency, because people were using it as stocks, and it became crypto stocks, and the whole point was to be able to send and receive money. And I was seeing that, you know, for goods and services, and I was seeing that that wasn't a thing. So, you know, and mind you, I didn't know how to code a website or anything at all. I didn't know HTML or CSS or Flask. I knew very little concepts of Python, you know, and I decided to pick it up because nobody else had made it. And you know, sometimes, you know, if the thing ain't made, sometimes you gotta make it, you know, if you want it to be a thing. And even if you don't know how to make it, you know, if you really want it to be a thing, you'll learn how to make it, you know, and that's what ended up happening with me. I'm still learning this, you know. Like I said, I still don't know how to make the server open source. I have no idea, and I feel like that one's just a very big thing that you don't want to fuck up and like try to make it open source, so the next thing you know, a hacker has access to it. So like I said, when the website's up, you know, when I first launch it, the server is going to be closed source, but I'm going to ask questions on how I can make it open source, and you know, so people can verify that, you know, I'm not, you know, because even when I implement the end-to-end encryption with PGP keys or open PGP keys, you know, they can see that, you know, yeah, it's encrypted, but what happens if the website, when you log in, it just stores your password, and now we have your password to be able to unlock your keys, which means that the end-to-end encryption doesn't really exist, you know, and that that is a real concern, you know, because obviously if it was just an app that you install on your phone or install on your computer, you know, you can verify that the app is legit, you know, and you can see that the app, the password, the encryption key, you know, maybe not the encryption key, maybe the encryption key can be stored on the server, but you would see that when you log in, you can verify the client to make sure that we're not logging your password, we're not sending it back, you know, and obviously that would be ideal. However, I also wanted it to work on a website, you know, so, and that becomes tricky, because then the only way to verify that and have complete trust in the website is to make sure that the server is open source. And like I said, I was looking into that Namecoin thing. I couldn't figure it out. I think when the website's launched and stuff like that, I'll just ask questions about that and see how, you know, how I can redirect it to that one, because that one's more secure, or at least in theory, it'd be more secure than just the protocols we have now. of verifying that the website's legit. And yeah, and it wasn't until around May 1st, it was May 1st, 2021 actually. I remember the day, the exact day. Just like I remember the exact day when I started coming up with the idea and building the website off of Python, looking at YouTube videos to figure out how that one was working, which was from Corey Schaefer. Amazing dude. He made it super simple and easy to learn. And you know, if you guys ever want to create a site from scratch, you know, and you don't know anything, I would highly recommend his videos. And you know, as the years go on, I might even make my own videos to help, you know, as well. But he was an amazing guy. I'm definitely gonna donate definitely gonna donate a few Monero coins to him whenever, you know, I end up feeling a bit more comfortable with the amount of money I have and this and that, to him, if he accepts it. If he doesn't, then, you know, just convert it to Bitcoin and whatnot. But yeah, it was until May 1st that I realized that it really clicked in my head, because, you know, I was hearing about all these things around February and March. I think it was more about March. I was realizing that the fiat currency system we had was fake, but it didn't really click to me until May 1st, and I really realized that, yo, this money's super fucking fake. Like, there is no value with the dollars. The only reason there's value with the dollars is because people believe there's value with the dollars. It became something like the Matrix, where you start realizing that everything around you is fake, you know, and it's very hard to wrap your mind around it. And when you tell somebody it, or when you even try to think about it, you're like, oh no, that's not possible, because everything here is real, you know. Or in terms of the fiat currency, the money we have is real because everybody accepts, you know, dollar bills, and nobody's accepting Bitcoin. So that means Bitcoin is fake, and that means that, you know, the dollar is real, and because people accept it, and because it's still money, and we could put it in the bank, and because the government says it's real, then it's real. But you really dig deep into it, and you realize that the paper dollar bills are not real at all, and, you know, you're just wasting your money if you're really saving money in terms of dollar bills, you know. Even if the whole fiat fiasco thing were to continue on for a few more decades, which I don't think so. I think it's going to come to an end within this decade, actually. I hope that I'm wrong, you know, because that would just be terrible for people, you know. But even if it didn't come to an end this decade, and it came to an end multiple decades later, you know, the money is going to go down. You know, you store $1 million back in 1970, that shit ain't worth $1 million at all now, you know. And if you were to store, you know, $10,000 now, probably in like 20, 30 years, the 10,000 would probably be worth like 4,000. You know, maybe even less. Maybe I'm being pretty generous with the amount that you'd actually end up having, considering that inflation between these 2 years, at least for the US dollar in the United States, has been like, they say it's like 7 to 8%, but we all know, just looking at the prices between Taco Bell and food places and stores and grocery stores and gasoline and all this stuff, the number's really closer to like 20 to 40%. And in the case of gas, obviously way more, but that's a bit different, because it's not just the printing of the money, it's also, you know, conflicts in the world and stuff like that, and sanctions being put, which I think the governments around the world are doing a terrible job at it. I think they could have done something much more than just, you know, fucking over regular innocent Russian citizens. That shouldn't be the goal. The goal should be to punish the corrupt governments, not everyone in Russia, just the people that run the country. But yeah, I've been talking a lot. I know, I'm a little boring and stuff like that, you know. But ever since May 1st, you know, that's when I started thinking more in terms of like, oh, rather than if you know, Dogecoin went up, you know, converted back to dollars, it was more like, no, Dogecoin went up, I converted to Monero and keep Monero as my currency. That's when I went full switch, like, just like, you know, I started thinking in terms of Monero as my currency. I still do. You know, so people always like, what's my currency? Oh, US dollar, oh, Argentinian peso, because I'm from Argentina. No, my currency is Monero. You know, I believe in the currency, and I think of it as the most realist money we've ever had, along with gold and silver. However, you already know those things have their own problems with, you know, with you know, portability and divisibility and verification that it's real. You know, when it comes to Monero, it solves all those problems, being portable, you know, digital. I mean, that's the most portable that you could possibly get. Being divisible, again, digital, you know, being as divisible as you could possibly get with the currency. And verification, you know, you just send it, and if you get one confirmation, you know it's real. If you really want to make sure, you know, and you're selling something very expensive, or you know, you're selling something online, because online you could take time to verify it compared to maybe, you know, if I wanted to open up like a little chocolate factory with cacaos and stuff like that, organic chocolate factory in South America, you know, in order to verify it, you know, oh, you're good. you might have to wait a little bit more for those 10 confirmations, you know, because, you know, and maybe for more expensive goods, I feel like for goods that are like $1, $2, $5, $10, you could possibly just wait for that one confirmation, which should take like 2 minutes. Maybe you could wait for 0 and just see that it's in the mempool or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, because I haven't implemented that right for what I want to do for the second project to help, you know, my businesses accept crypto. But it's definitely something to think about, you know. And you know, it really came to me, the idea really came to me in May 1st, because, you know, like I said, I knew the money was fake, but it really just clicked in my head. My cousins were talking about, oh, do you think Doge would be like $1 or, and they were like, they thought that it would, and I kept saying, no, I don't think so, because, you know, Doge doesn't really have any value, you know, at least not in its current state, and I don't think it will. I could be wrong, but, you know, I just didn't think so at that point in time. And then I really thought about it, and I was like, I mean, maybe Dogecoin can go over $1, because, you know, the fact of the matter is that both of the currencies is fake, you know, and if that coin that was made as a joke became more than the dollar bill, then what does that say about our currency, you know? And then that's when I got it. I got the whole laughing factor of Dogecoin, why it was so funny, because it's supposed to prove that, you know, that our money's fake, you know. And if Dogecoin actually went over $1, how do you expect a currency that was made as a complete joke to be unsustainable with this printing model? But still, that printing model is still better than the US dollar printing model. You know, they designed it to be just not really good, and that is worth more than the US dollar. What the fuck does that say about our currency? I think a lot of normies would still not get it at that point in time. I think some will start realizing it and be like, wait a minute, this is worth more than my dollar. What the hell? Why is it worth more than the dollar? You know, so I don't know if Dogecoin will reach $1 now, since it just kind of fell in price. And, you know, not trying to give financial advice with Dogecoin, because I don't think so, but it wouldn't surprise me if it went to $1, is what I'm trying to say. It wouldn't surprise me, because, I mean, I think, hell, you know, I think Dogecoin possibly has more value than $1, because it's not as manipulated. You know, you can't just print, if you want to print a whole bunch of them, yeah, you can print out a lot of them, but you can't just print out 1 trillion like that. You know, compared to the US dollar, there's no restriction. You know, Dogecoin, I think, is 10,000 per block or something like that. I'm not sure about the numbers. There's some sort of restriction with it, where if you needed, like, you know, 1 billion Dogecoin to be printed out in like 1 day, you can't do it. You know, compared to the US dollar, you know, you need $1 trillion that printed in 1 hour. Fuck it, you know, you need $6 trillion to be printed out this year to help the economy. Fuck it, print it, you know. So I think that's where Dogecoin has an advantage, and a lot of cryptocurrencies have an advantage. So, you know, if my take on it, you know, I do think Dogecoin is worth more than the US dollar. But if you're really looking to preserve your wealth, I would still try to go to other cryptocurrencies besides Dogecoin. But I mean, I guess Dogecoin is better than the US dollar, is what I'm trying to say. And Dogecoin is already worth more than like half of the currencies that are already here in the world, you know. So so it's still funny to think about, you know, this joke of a currency is worth more than most of the countries, you know, most other foreign currencies. So it's just funny to think about. Yeah, and that's where I was trying to go to. I had known this since May, and then from that point in time, I made it a thing to really get Monero. And I had accumulated some, but then I take some out, and this and that, you know, and you know, I was just being stupid with the money at the end of the day. I thought the website would be done faster, so I figured it'd be better to just focus more time on the website than to work. But I should have just worked, even if it was a part-time job, because, you know, if I had only made $20,000 a year, you know, and I don't think a part-time job would have been able to do that, you know. But if I had, you know, I could have had 100 by this point in time. I could have had 100 coins. You know, I could have had 100 Moneros, and I wouldn't be stressing about everything. You know, I know in the back of my mind that I was set. You know, even though I didn't have the money now, today, to be able to do stuff, I knew that I had something stored of wealth that would grow in the future, and that would just be usable. It would actually be usable compared to something like Bitcoin, where you know, it could technically be usable, but, you know, not in the sense that everybody would want to use it, because who in their right mind would want to send a dollar to somebody and, like, they know everything you've done? Like, it's absurd. I don't think people have really understood that and gotten that. And like I said, I think Monero is the only one that fulfills that goal, you know. And I'm truly placing all my eggs in my basket with Monero. I mean, not everything, because I signed up with Robinhood today. I know Robinhood, well, not today, like a month ago, and I know, but Robinhood accepts. They have a crypto wallet working, so now I can exchange my Monero. Well, I'd have to exchange it to Litecoin, and then to Litecoin or Bitcoin at that point in time. It doesn't really matter, I guess. Put it into their crypto wallet. I sell it, you know, and they don't take any fees whatsoever of selling crypto or buying crypto or selling stocks or buying stocks. So I can take that crypto and turn it into stocks, and then vice versa. I was testing it out with small payments, like $100 or $200, and it was working pretty smoothly and fine, you know. At least in terms of sending the money out, it takes probably like an hour or so. I think it's just that way they verify that the funds are legit or something, I guess, or that you're not sending it to a blacklisted address. I mean, it's fine, it doesn't matter as long as I get the money, like, not too long of a wait. Like, I know if I wanted to, that's what happened in Webull. I tried taking out my money to the bank because that was the only option. It took like fucking 2 weeks. It was insane. I was like, holy shit, that's a long ass fucking time, you know. And I haven't tested it out on Robinhood. I think Robinhood would be around a similar kind of thing. If you want to withdraw your money to a bank account, it would take a bit longer. And, you know, obviously I don't really care for the banks anymore. I own like 2 bank accounts right now. It was funny because Monero Market, I've been getting mail right now from 3 different banks already trying to have me be in their bank account. And, you know, it's funny because my company's not going to use a bank account. I mean, I kept the letters. Who knows, maybe when I want to pay people in US dollar currency, because I still want to give that an option. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, you have to get paid in Monero, you know, and if you don't, then fuck you, you know. Like, no, of course I understand that, you know, currencies, you know, like if I were to hire somebody from the Philippines, I might have to pay them in pesos because, you know, nobody there accepts Bitcoin. What are you going to do? The only Bitcoin ATM is all the way in Manila, so that means if you lived in one of the other islands in Leyte or something like that, you know, you'd have to drive all the way over there, maybe even take a plane to just convert, which has astronomical fees, I'm assuming. And then, like, it's just, I don't know, you know, most people wouldn't be able to do it, I feel, and I don't think I should be able to give that restriction. Obviously, if I pay in US dollar, you know, which I want to give that option, you know, they might be getting paid less than if I paid them in Monero, because, you know, the site works in Monero. I have to convert it, and, you know, with US dollars, there might be some form of W-2 taxes or forms or something like that, compared to if I pay you with Monero, or at the very least Bitcoin. I don't have to do any of that stuff, you know. Now I can just pay you, and there's not too many, like, contracts or anything to sign or nothing like that. Just like a little contract kind of thing to sign for you to know what the job's about, and, you know, if you do these sorts of stuff, so you can get fired and stuff like that. Like if you just don't work, or you say you're doing this thing and you're not, and, you know, all that stuff. But, you know, this W-2 forms and everything, they wouldn't be a main factor in all that stuff. If I was paying Monero, then if I paid you in Bitcoin or Litecoin or Ethereum or Bitcoin Cash, like I said, I think those are going to be the 4 options for crypto, along with DAI, which is just a stable coin. And then obviously US dollars in the form of a bank account deposit, you know, so depositing right into your bank account, or in the form of deposit with money order, maybe, so that way people can get cash. If they don't have a bank account, they can go to a store and get a money order. I think that's how that works or something. I'm not sure because I never do money orders, but so, you know, don't quote me on that. Don't don't believe what I'm saying right now about the money orders, because I'm not exactly sure that's how it works, but I think I'm more closer to that than wrong. More right with that than wrong, I should say. And yeah, I forgot to mention too in the beginning, I'm gonna walk for this first day for my outside thing, just to get back into the groove, you know. Like I said, my stomach still feels bad from eating all that junk food, actually, so so, you know, and it's funny because while I was eating junk food, most of the time I was still eating healthy. You know, like, yeah, I'd sneak in some Oreos and some French fries and stuff like that. And I had a sandwich, you know, which isn't really unhealthy. They just use the bread, which isn't included in my diet at all. So I just ate a sandwich with bread. But everything else, I just put, and I put crispy onion rings instead of regular ones, which obviously they fry them, so, you know, it's not as good for your health. And in my diet, that's not allowed. But even then, I was still eating healthy. I was still eating lentils and rice and beans. I was still, you know, eating fruit. I was still making smoothies. I was still, you know, it's just so crazy because it just really started being incorporated into my, like, actual things that I eat, that I didn't even have to really think about it at that point in time. And I think that's how 75 Hard is going to be. It's going to be these tasks that are just going to implement all these stuff about responsibility and you know, just putting in the effort and just executing. And I think that is going to be similar to how I just experienced when I wanted to eat unhealthy, and I was still eating healthy regardless. I was still drinking, like, almost, I didn't drink a gallon of water, but I know that I drank at least half of it without even having to think about it. And before 75 Hard, I was barely drinking water, you know, so it's crazy how you still develop these skills. And I think that 75 Hard is really going to ingrain those 3 skills that I was just talking about into my head. And then, you know, when I want to execute something, or I want to take responsibility for something or something like that, it's just something that just kind of happens without even me thinking about it because of this program. So, like I said, I'm very excited for that. And like I said, I still can't help myself feel like an idiot that I could have gotten 100 of them. But, you know, it is what it is. You make mistakes. And I'm just glad that you know, that it's still obtainable to get. You know, I'm just glad that for me, as of right now, you know, in this point in time, that most people don't know about it, you know, and it's not like I'm trying to hide it per se, you know, because Monero Market is going to be a public website, but it's just nice because that means that it's finally still obtainable. It's not like Bitcoin where if I wanted to get one coin, it would be practically impossible unless if I just came up with something to really end up getting a whole bunch of money, you know, because at this point in time, I think Bitcoin's around $40,000, and, you know, like I said, most jobs around here pay like maybe $20,000 a year, full-time, $30,000, you know, so even if you worked 1 year, you still wouldn't be able to get it. You work 2 years, you might be able to get it. That's assuming that the price still stays where it is. But like I said, you already know my thoughts on Bitcoin. I think, you know, I'm not trying to sound like a Bitcoin hater or anything like that, but, you know, there's a lot of problems with Bitcoin, with, you know, not having minor incentive, and the only incentive is transaction fees. That one's retarded and really absurd if you think about it. Like, how is the system going to be sustainable with that? Whatever, that's not the thing that I think is going to crash it. It's not the privacy aspect, which I think is super stupid too, but like I said, I think I might understand why it wasn't like that implemented, but it's still a con at the end of the day, and I think that's stupid, you know, but I don't think that would necessarily crash the system. I don't think the 1 megabyte system would crash the system, or crash the network, you know, although I do think it's very stupid as well. You know, I don't think that would necessarily crash it. I don't think having a fixed amount of Bitcoin, 21 million, you know, I don't think that's a good idea either. But you know what? I don't think that that's going to crash the system. I think what's going to crash Bitcoin, really, like I've been saying before, are the ASIC mining machines, so it being centralized in terms of mining. Yeah, it's not as centralized as, say, the banking system, so I mean, I guess that might be a little bit of a pro versus what we have today, but it's still centralized, you know, and if it's not centralized now as what people think it is, it's definitely going to be centralized later on, because these machines cost tens of thousands of dollars. Most ordinary people, like if I wanted to get into Bitcoin mining for whatever reason, I wouldn't be able to do it. You know, even if I were to sell all the things that I own, I wouldn't be able to do it. You know, so I think that's what's going to crash Bitcoin. Like I said, I think it's going to crash if they don't fix that issue. And that's the problem with the ASIC mining machines, because if normal citizens like me, and normal citizens that are buying Bitcoin right now, they want to change that. They want it to be decentralized. It's not up to us anymore. You know, in Monero, it would be up to us if we really felt something strong about it, like that whole pool centralization issue that we had in Monero. Regular people can go in and fucking mine at other pools and like change that, you know. And in terms of Bitcoin, you can't, because you need these ASIC mining machines, and it costs so much money to just get one, and these motherfuckers have like hundreds to thousands of them, you know, in their little mining farms, you know, and I don't think that was the whole point of it, of Bitcoin. And like I said, I think if they don't change that, then it's going to crash, you know, because the whole privacy aspect and the whole transaction fee aspect, I mean, it sucks, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie, it might be something that I might end up using, not often at all, very rarely, but it might be something that you know, I'd look at and be like, I might save it, especially if the world is going to end up adopting it and using it. But that whole centralization aspect, now you're taking what Bitcoin wanted to be, the whole decentralization of everything, giving freedom back to the people. Now you're taking that and just taking one step backwards and fucking, you know, going back. The whole problem with this is, what would happen if the governments were able to take control of these centralized, you know, ASIC mining machines, and now they want to print a whole bunch of them. You say, well, they can't change the code. Well, yeah, but if they got like 51% of them, they could. At the end of the day, it's the ASIC mining machines that are keeping the network running, and if they gain control of these, you know, it could very well happen. They could print more, you know. I know I'm getting more into something that would possibly never happen, but, you know, I just can't help but think that it might, you know, just because of all this stupidity with having ASIC mining machines control the network. I think it's very stupid, and like I said, if regular people wanted to make it where you know, they could change that, they can't just grab a computer and just start mining and voting, basically, you know, because that's also another aspect that mining provides, is being able to cast a vote like you would cast a vote at a ballot when you want to elect a president or a governor or senator or whatever, you know. And that's also its functionality of mining too, that mining was supposed to provide. And yeah, it's been fucked. And I don't think it's going to change, because now you give power to the ASIC mining people, and they don't want to change it, because then they lose fucking a whole fuck ton of money. The machines become worthless. They spent fuck tons of money on it, you know. And now, you know, the problem is that Bitcoin has turned from something more of a moral thing, something more that was, when it started, more philosophical with its ideas, to something that's just more of like a money grab kind of thing. And I think that's going to ruin and destroy Bitcoin. And I think that if Bitcoin doesn't change that, you know, because it doesn't even have to change the privacy aspect, and it's not going to change the 21 million one, then, you know, I don't think people would be investing in that anymore. But I think that's really it. And like I said, it's not just Bitcoin. You know, I like Litecoin a lot too, but Litecoin suffers the same problem. You know, Bitcoin Cash suffers the same problem. Dogecoin, you know, a lot of these fucking coins suffer it. You know, Ethereum actually is one of the few currencies, just like Monero, that actually doesn't suffer that. And yeah, it's just my pennies for thoughts. This is another reason why I think Monero will succeed above all. Just because they developed that ASIC mining resistance, and they did it very soon, to the point that, like I said, if everybody in the world was suddenly like, hey yo, we actually don't like this aspect of Bitcoin, we want it to be decentralized again, the ASIC mining people is just gonna be like, fuck you, we're the ones mining this bitch, so, you know, you can go fuck yourselves. I think that's a huge problem that a lot of people underestimate, just like how a lot of people underestimate the privacy aspect and the fixed size aspect of the blockchain. block size aspect, a lot of people severely underestimate this thing. They either underestimate it or they just don't know how it all works, so they just truly believe that Bitcoin's decentralized when, you know, like I said, I was the same way when I first heard about it, and then you really dig deep into it and you realize it's not decentralized, at least not in its current state. It was decentralized when it first came out, and then you already know they just didn't prevent the ASIC mining machines from ruling over, and now they dominate the whole network. And you know, it's the complete opposite of what it was supposed to be. So yeah, my 45 minutes is practically done right now. I'm about to just walk back into my apartment complex right now, and yeah, this is day one again. Not adding any more agains to this, and I'm doing everything now, not half-assing anything, except for maybe today with the walking, but you know what I mean. Just going in, and really, like I was saying in the beginning, just to summarize and top off everything, this is for me. This is to be able to be a good boss. This is to be able to run companies. This is to be able to be a father to my child. To not have any excuses about, oh, I don't feel like waking up when he's crying and this and that. No, this will teach me, like, hey, yo, you know what I'm saying? You wake up right away, you do it, you do the things that need to be done, you have to take responsibility, you need to execute stuff that needs to be executed when it comes to taking care of the child. And yeah, like I said, I know I said it 3 times in total already, maybe 4 times now, maybe this time's the 4th one now, but this time I'm being very fucking serious. It ends today. It starts today, I guess. Both. It ends today, my childlessness, and it starts today to becoming a man. And yeah, now I'm at my door. I shouldn't have exposed my number. It's fine, because I don't think people will see this until I move out anyways, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, 75 hard, day one, again. I'll see you later, and I'll keep you posted when that website's up, for sure. It will be up very soon. And like I said, I think all these 3 things are going to change my life. Yeah, and I'll see you soon.